Advent is a season of paradox. It's a season when we walk in that strange realm of already, but not yet. This Sunday, as we celebrate the new year of our church calendar, we do so in a time when our own calendar is counting down to the end. We anticipate the birth of Christ in our lives, and yet we claim every Sunday that he is always and already with us. The paradox of already, but not yet. And we feel that in the symbol and the music and the rituals that we share this season. For each year, as our world grows in darkness, we light candles. As the trees become stark and leafless, we bring in evergreens. As creation appears to be dying, we celebrate the pregnant possibilities of life to come. Advent is a season of holding together the inherent contradictions of life. And it is also a season where we hold those contradictions as we wait. As we look to the distant sights and sounds of Christmas while standing in a dark and quiet place and knowing that is just where we should be. It's a time of believing that there is important work that happens in the waiting, which may sound very strange to us in our hurry up and get there, instant gratification world. We wonder how waiting can ever be productive. Most of us barely tolerate it. But waiting, I believe, is an underrated spiritual teacher. For what if, instead of experiencing it as an inconvenience, we welcomed waiting as a gift? What if instead of dismissing those stalled moments in line at the grocery store or at the red light or in the doctor's office as a waste of our precious time, that we saw them instead as an unexpected opportunity to pay attention to the moment that we are in? It can make us nervous just thinking about it, doesn't it? For we prefer to be busy. We prefer to keep moving. We prefer to be in control. But what if, instead of distracting ourselves and getting frustrated by thinking about all the things we are not doing, what if we just allowed ourselves to be present in the waiting, without an agenda to hurry us through, to see and to feel and to imagine and to hear what might be happening under that still surface? It's no wonder that the ultimate spiritual metaphor for this season of sacred waiting is pregnancy, where new life is building silently and unseen in the dark. We sing of the Christ child to come, the one who is carried in Mary's womb. And there is promise in this waiting, and there is the hope of new life and a new world to come. And yet, as every mother knows, there is very little to do in pregnancy but wait. We cannot hurry it along, and we cannot slow it down. We simply must let it unfold in its own sacred time, knowing that even in the most frightening moments, even knowing that there are no guarantees of a healthy birth, we know that there is precious life, unseen life at work in the moment of waiting. And that possibility of life gives us hope. And I believe that that is the true sacredness of the Advent season of waiting, the holy paradox that we live within. That even though the darkening world promises us nothing, we trust that there is new life growing within. That under that still surface, we believe that there is a quickening of hope. Now, friends, this is important to remember, particularly in times of fear and uncertainty, when we seem to be stepping into a moment of dark confusion, and it can be hard to see any signs of hope. We fear the changes ahead, but we don't know how they will manifest themselves. We struggle to make sense of the disruptions and the disappointments, to control them, to get ahead of them. At these times, the stillness of waiting can feel like surrender to us and not wisdom. The darkness can feel like despair instead of a nurturing womb. But this is when we need to trust in the waiting and to learn to pay attention to the whispers of new life that can only be found when the world and our hearts are quiet and dark. As spiritual writer Diana Butler Bass tells us, Advent recognizes the profound spiritual truth that we need not fear the dark. Instead, wait there. Under that darkening blue cope of heaven, alert for the signs of the dawn. Watch, for you cannot rush the night, but you can light some candles and sing some songs and deck the halls and recite poetry and say prayers. Friends, in this dark and holy moment, in this time of quiet whispers, let us train our ears and eyes and hearts to pick up on the signs of life that are to come. Let us gather together and watch and pray and wait together for the light of dawn to emerge. For this season unfolds, my friends, in its own holy and paradoxical time. We cannot rush it. May our hearts do the same. Amen.